Welcome back. All right, so with the schedule being kind of weird tonight, I'm recording this kind of weird. I'm actually starting this during the first intermission of both of the late games because, I mean, there's nothing else happening. So sure, let's do it this way. All right, Florida and Toronto. Bobrovsky versus Stolars, and 2 minutes in, a nice pass by Nylander. Tavares scores to open things up for Toronto. The other assist to Benoit, and that was the first shot on net for Toronto. So that's the kind of start you want. Then Schmidt had a fight with Domi. I'm going to go ahead and say Domi won that fight. Shots are 3-1. Toronto at 5 minutes. I mean, Nate Schmidt was in over his head. He tried. McMahon has a wrister that's kicked aside. We get a power play for the Panthers. That's killed off. One shot on net. Panthers press with 5 minutes left. The shots are 7-5 Florida with 4.5 minutes left. Marner has a rush chance that's blocked. The Leafs press are kept to the outside. There's a nice pad save on a rush chance by Sam Bennett. Things get pushed in a hold by Stolars. The Panthers come out with a power play on that, and at 17:53 they tie it. Bennett buries a rebound in close. Samoskevich and Reinhart with the assists. I've been writing Samoskevich on the board a lot lately. It's 1-1 after 1. Second period, we get a power play for Toronto. That's killed off. The teams trade turnovers. Shots are 2-1 Leafs at 5.5 minutes. We get a power play for Toronto. That's killed off as well. Lundell has a rush chance that's held. Things get pushed in a hold by Stolars. Verhaeghe has a rush chance that's blocked. Matthews has a wraparound chance that's saved, and then off of a good forecheck by A.J. Greer, he gets the puck to Mikkola. Mikkola wires it from the high slot at 13:56. Florida has their first lead of the game at 2-1. Then we get a power play for the Panthers, and at 17:13, it is Bennett again from in close scoring. Reinhart and Samoskevich the assists again. So that makes it 3-1 Florida. Leafs press to respond, but it's 3-1 for the Panthers after 2. Third period, we get a power play for Toronto. That leads to a crossbar for Tavares. That power play is killed off. But at 4:26, not long after, Domi scores on a rush during a Panthers line change. Yarncroke and Ekman-Larsson with the assist, so that makes it 3-2. Adds a little bit of tension to this one. Leafs press at 6.5 minutes. The shots are 6-3 Toronto at 9 minutes. The Leafs press at the half. Jones has a rush chance that's denied. The teams then trade rushes. The shots are 7-5 Toronto with 5 minutes left. Matthews has a chance during the 6-on-5 with the goalie pulled, of course. That is held, and with 1:16 left, the Leafs call a timeout. Whatever they discussed does not work. Florida holds on. They win this one 3-2. They go to 41-22-3 with the loss. Toronto 39-23-3. And so they fall 4 points behind the Florida Panthers. Shots on net, 11-7 Florida in the first, 10-9 Toronto in the second, 8-5 Toronto in the third. Both teams had 25 shots in this game. Power plays, Florida 2 for 3, Toronto 0 for 3. The hits, 40-24 for Florida. Bobrovsky saves 23 out of 25. Stolars saves 22 out of 25 at the other end. All right, next up, Boston in Ottawa against the Sens. Sens are going to make the playoffs, aren't they? Anyways, Swayman versus Ullmark. The Bruins press are kept to the outside. Zetterlund has a screenshot that's held. Shots are 4-0 for the Sens at 3.5 minutes, and at 3:44 they open the scoring. Pinto turns and buries one short side. Gregg and Amadio with the assists, so 1-0 for Ottawa. Sens press for another. The Bruins press at 6.5 minutes. They finally get their first shot. Good forechecking by Ottawa, and then at 9:09, Clevin with a one-timer from the left circle makes it 2-0 for Ottawa. Matt and Batherson with the assists. Now, Boston does answer. At 10:57 is a cross-crease pass and in. Casey Mittelstadt with his first goal as a Bruin. The assist to Lettieri. We get 2 minutes of 4-on-4. The Sens then press with 5.5 minutes left. We get a power play for Ottawa, and they score on it. At 16:21, Batherson buries a cross-crease pass to make it 3-1. Tkachuk and Stützle with the assists. But they're not done. Swayman turns over a puck, and Gregg would score at 16:43. Pinto with the assist. So that makes it 4-1 in favor of the Ottawa Senators. 2:33 left. The Sens go back to the power play. That's killed off. 2 shots on net. It's 4-1 Ottawa after 1 period of play. Second period, Korpisalo's in to start the second because, of course, he is. Bruins press at 3 minutes. The shots are 2 apiece at 4.5 minutes. There really wasn't a path to the Ottawa net, but at 6:59 it's Pasternak that gets one to make it a 4-2 score. Beecher with the assist. Sens then press at 9 minutes. The Bruins press. The Sens block the net pretty well. And at 11:01, Batherson on a bounce off the boards that gets to him. He ends up scoring it. Cousins and Shabbat with the assist. So Dylan Cousins on the board again. and that restores the lead to 3 goals for Ottawa at 5-2. Cousins then has a wrister that's blocked out. There's some pushing, and then at 13:55, Huznetdinov gets his first as a Bruin. The assist to Lindholm and Lauko. We then get a power play for Boston. That's killed off. The Sens press with 2 minutes left. The Bruins press to close it out. It's 5-3 Ottawa after 2. Third period, the Bruins press at 2.5 minutes. The shots are 5-2 Boston at 4 minutes. They made Ullmark earn this. The Sens signal goal, it's reviewed, no goal on the play. And I was looking really closely at my TV. I did not see the puck across the line before the whistle there. Bruins press at 9 minutes. I don't even know why I do it. It's not like it's official or anything. I want to see. Did it go in? Did it not? Net feed to Geeky. Near miss there. Ullmark misses the empty net. I would have cheered if he'd hit that. Of course, he does have an empty net goal in his career, so he's looking for a second. But Giroux had hit the empty net at 18:44. Ottawa wins a big game, 6-3 over Boston. They go to 35-25-5 with the win. With the loss, Boston 30-29-8 on the season. Shots on net, 15-4 Ottawa in the first, 13-10 Boston in the second, 8-6 Boston in the third. Final shots 31-25 Ottawa. Power plays Boston 0 for 1. Ottawa 1 for 2. The hits 34-23 Boston. Swayman saves 11 out of 15 before being replaced by Korpisalo, who saved 14 out of 15 in relief. Ullmark saves 22 out of 25. All right, moving along. Tampa Bay and Philly. So Johansson versus Harrison. Shots are 2-0 Philly at 2.5 minutes. Bolts press at 5 minutes. Eventually, Tampa Bay gets a power play, and they score on it at 8:27. Gonsalves tips one in close. The assist to Gord and McDonough. Chaffee then has a rush chance that's saved. Michkov has a rush chance that's kicked aside. And then at 14:20, Bobby Brink answers and scores to tie it. Lixell and Paling with the assists. We then get some pushing on a hole by Johansson. It's 1-1 after 1. Second period, 15 seconds in, Tampa Bay makes it 2-1. It's Gergensons with his second of the season. The assist to Chernak and Hagel. Tampa Bay then gets a power play, looking to get a stranglehold on this game. Philadelphia does kill that off. Shots are 4-2 Tampa at 3.5 minutes. We then get a power play for the Flyers. That's killed off. There's a near miss for Couturier shortly after that power play comes to an end. Bolts press at 8 minutes. We get a power play for Tampa. That's killed off. And then at 10:55, Bobby Brink with his second goal of the game makes it a 2-2 tie. Couturier with the assist. The Flyers then look for the lead, have a little bit of momentum here. Atkinson's denied on a rush. The Bolts press with 5.5 minutes left. At 19:01, just as we get into the final minute, Paling scores from Lixell and Brink, and Paling just goes around Johansson and in. So that makes it a 3-2 score for Philadelphia after 2. Third period, the lone shot on net 3 minutes in belongs to Tampa, and they would score at 3 minutes and 50 seconds. Atkinson roofs a cross-ice pass to tie the game. Hedman and Mosier with the assists, so 3-3 tie at that point. Flyers press to respond. Shots are 3-2 Tampa at 6.5 minutes. The Flyers press at 8 minutes. Andre fires one wide. Johansson holds. Flyers draw a power play. That's killed off. Bolts press with 4.5 minutes left, but it was kind of a tentative finish to that period. We're going to overtime. The overtime, Hedman has a shot that's blocked. The Bolts play keep away for a little bit. The Flyers would get the puck. Tampa gets the puck. And then Tippett has a buzzer beater that's held. We're going to the shootout. It goes all the way to round 5. Owen Tippett with the winner then. Philadelphia, a shootout victory over Tampa. They go to 28-31-8. Tampa Bay pulls a point closer to Toronto, but they don't get that second point. They're 37-23-5 with the shootout loss. Shots on net, 9-7 Philly in the first, 8-7 Philly in the second, 11-5 Philly in the third. Both teams had one shot in the overtime. Philly would have had the shot that matters if they won it in overtime, but as I started to say it, I realized it was a shootout victory. So we'll forget I said it, just get the little Men in Black memory wiper thing. Final shots, 29-20 Philly. Power plays, Tampa Bay 1 for 3, Philadelphia 0 for 2. The hits, both teams had 19. Johansson saves 26 out of 29. Ersson saves 17 out of 20. He's pretty good in shootouts, isn't he? All right, moving along. The last game I'm going to review before going back to watching myself some hockey, Binnington versus Jarry, as St. Louis is in against Pittsburgh. And I mentioned it in the preview this morning. Jarry has a perfect record playing against the St. Louis Blues at PPG Paints Arena. So early press by the Penguins at 2:17 on what's their first shot. Graves scores from Lizotte. And that's the first goal Graves has had in 73 games. So that's a while. Thomas Campberry went in close. Pucks cleared out. The shots are 4-1. St. Louis 4.5 minutes in. Penguins press at 8.5 minutes. The Blues block. The Blues press with 9.5 minutes left. Falk's denied. The Penguins get pinned down. They're shot blocking pretty well, although the shots are 10-1 for St. Louis with 7.5 minutes left. Tomasino has a net drive that's saved. Pittsburgh would have some opportunities late. It's 1-0 for the Penguins after 1. Second period, early press by the Penguins, and at 2 minutes and 20 seconds, Timmins gets his first goal as a member of the Penguins. He scores from Heinen and Tomasino, so 3 players that did not start the season with Pittsburgh, and they combine on a goal there to make it 2-0. Shots are 3-2 for the Blues at 3.5 minutes. The Blues press at 7.5 minutes. Eventually, St. Louis gets a power play, and they score on it. Bolduc scores from Thomas and Buchnevich at 11:35. In fact, St. Louis played pretty well in this game. Shots are 10-6 for the Blues with 5.5 minutes left. The Blues press with 5 minutes left. Kyrou has a net feed that gets picked off, and then at 17:42, Dewar tips in his first goal as a member of the Pittsburgh Penguins. So both Dewar and Timmins score in the second period. They picked those guys up from Toronto. The assist to Lizotte and Carlson, and Pittsburgh's got their 2-goal lead back at 3-1. Penguins press for another, but with 7.8 seconds left, the Blues get a power play. So it's 3-1 Pittsburgh after 2. The power play would carry over into the third, and St. Louis scores on it. At 1:26, it's Holloway from Falk and Neighbors, making it 3-2 for Pittsburgh. So then there's some good forechecking by the Blues. The shots are 3-0 in favor of St. Louis 3.5 minutes in. Thomas has a net drive this block. Dewar's denied on a net drive of his own. And then at 7:42, Dewar, it's a face-off win and in the net. Lizotte and Carlson with the assists as that goal is scored short side. And that ends the night for Binnington. Hofer was in the net at that point. At 8:56, St. Louis may be buoyed by the goaltending change. They score. Toropchenko buries one on a net drive. Suter with the assist, so that brings the score down to a 4-3 score now. So, or the deficit is 1 goal now at 4-3 in favor of Pittsburgh. Blues then look to tie it. The Penguins press with 4.5 minutes left. The goalie pull would happen with 2:20 left. And at 19:52, Rickard Rakell scores his 30th of the season, I do believe, into the empty net. Crosby and Rust with the assists. Pittsburgh wins 5-3. They're playing spoiler. They go to 27-31-10 with the win. With the loss, St. Louis 31-28-7, and they lose an opportunity to move closer to a playoff spot. Shots on net, 16-5 St. Louis in the first, 12 apiece in the second, 8-5 St. Louis in the third. Final shots 36-22 for St. Louis. Power plays, St. Louis scored on both of theirs. Pittsburgh didn't have one. The hits, 26-21 Pittsburgh. Binnington, 15 saves on 19 shots. Hofer only faced 2 shots, and he saved both of them. Jari saves 33 out of 36. Continues his really strong run since returning from the minors. All right, that's it for board number 1. All right, so Vegas in Columbus against the Blue Jackets tonight. Hill versus Merzlikins. Columbus presses at 1.5 minutes. Shots are 2-0 for the Blue Jackets, 3.5 minutes in. Columbus was doing a good job of protecting the path to their net. We get a power play for Columbus. That's killed off. And then Vegas gets a power play, and they score on it. And it's their first shot at 11:59. Roy tips one in from Eichel and Hertl. So it's 1-0 Vegas. Then we get a 4-minute power play for Columbus. That's killed off. And it felt like that was a bit of a momentum swing. And at 19:01, Brandon Saad scores to make it 2-0 for Vegas from Smith and Roy. So 2-0 Vegas after the first, even though they got outshot badly in the first period. Second period, good forechecking by Vegas. Danforth has a net drive chance that's blocked. Shots are 1 apiece, 5 minutes in. We get a power play for the Golden Knights. That's killed off. Saad's then denied on a fast break. The shots are 5-2 Vegas at the half. And at 12:17 on a cross-ice pass, Dorofeev roofs one. Hertl and Saad with the assists. So Saad with a goal and an assist tonight. And it's 3-0 for the Vegas Golden Knights. Columbus presses with 5.5 minutes left. The teams trade turnovers, and when we get to the horn, there's some booing from the Columbus faithful. I don't blame them. They need to get some wins here because things are tightening up in the East, and it's 3-0 Vegas after 2. Third period, early press by Columbus, but the only shot on net belongs to Vegas 2.5 minutes in. Vegas presses at 4 minutes. Corrali fires one wide on a rush. Werenski then has a rush chance that's held. Columbus presses at 7 minutes. Vegas gets some pressure 9 minutes in. Columbus then gets some pressure with 7.5 left. We get a power play for the Golden Knights. Dorofeev has a wrister that's held. That power play is killed off. Early goalie pull because you're down by 3, and at 15:38, Pietrangelo hits the empty net for his first goal in 33 games. Colasar and McNabb with the assists. Columbus would press with 2 minutes left, looking to break up the shutout. They do not. So the Tony the Tiger Magnets on the board for a 4-0 shutout victory for Vegas. They go to 39-19-7 with the win. With the loss, Columbus 31-26-8. Shots on net, 14-6 Columbus in the first, 9-7 Vegas in the second, 14-6 Vegas in the third. Final shots 29-27 for the Golden Knights. Power plays, Vegas 1 for 3, Columbus 0 for 3. The hits, 31-11 for Columbus. Aiden Hill saves all 27 for the shutout. Merzlikins saves 25 out of 28 in the loss, and it is a costly loss. All right, next up, Edmonton in against the New Jersey Devils. Skinner versus Allen. The teams trade early turnovers. The shots are 3-1, though, for the Oilers at 2 minutes. So the Oilers come out pretty well here. Devils press at 6 minutes. Pesci has a screenshot that save. The Oilers press at 7.5 minutes. Good forechecking by the Oilers in that first period. We then get a power play for the Devils. That leads to a shorthanded rush chance by Adam Henrique, former Devil. That's held. Power play was killed off with no shots on net. Devils go back to the power play, so the Oilers go fine. They kill that one off as well. And then the Oilers press in the final minute. So coming out of that first period, the Oilers probably felt pretty good. They came out with that one scoreless, and they'd killed off a couple of penalties. Second period, early Oilers power play, that's killed off. The shots are 4-3 for Edmonton at 3.5 minutes. And then at 3:58, Pesci buries one in close to open the scoring for New Jersey. Howla and Bratt with the assists. The Devils press for another. However, at 10:05 on a net drive, Draisaitl wires one. McDavid and Kulak with the assists, so it's a 1-1 tie. Shots are 9-7 for the Devils with 9.5 minutes left. Too many Oilers on the ice. The Devils go to the power play. That was killed off. Pesci has a chance after that power play that is held. Devils press with 5.5 minutes left. The Oilers press in the final minute, but it's 1-1 after 2. Third period, shots are 3-0 Oilers at 2.5 minutes. Kapanen has a rush chance that's saved. The Oilers press at 4 minutes. And at 4:18, Bouchard puts one past a screen from the point. Wallman and McDavid with the assists. The Oilers have their first lead of the game at 2-1. Shots are 7-2 for the Oilers at 6 minutes, and they had to feel pretty good about where they were at because, they're ahead on the road. The Devils have had some struggles recently. Wallman has a screenshot that's held, and then at 6:50, Jesper Bratt scores to tie it. Pesci and Meyer with the assists, and then at 8:25, it's Nemitz scoring for New Jersey. Bratt and Hischier with the assists. Suddenly, the Oilers go from 2-1 up to 3-2 down. Devils look for another. Skinner then has a rush chance that's held. The Oilers press with 9 minutes left. McDavid has a net drive chance that's held. The Oilers press with 4.5 minutes left. The Devils press with 2 minutes left. In fact, the Oilers get the goalie pulled, but there's 1:40 left when they get that done. I think they would have wanted to get him out sooner. Either way, they do not tie this game. New Jersey wins in regulation 3-2. They go to 36-25-6. So with that win combined with that loss for Columbus, New Jersey's now pretty comfortably in third place. The Oilers 37-24-4. The slide continues. Even though I did that video on the Oilers, they continue to lose. It's as if my videos have no actual power. I've been telling people this for years. Shots on net, 8-5 Edmonton in the first, 10-6 New Jersey in the second, 19-6 Edmonton in the third. Final shots, 33-21 for the Oilers. Power plays, the Oilers 0 for 1, New Jersey 0 for 3. The hits, 20-13 for Edmonton. Skinner saves 18 out of 21 in the loss. Allen had himself a game, 31 saves on 33 shots, so there were some surprise that Markstrom didn't start this game, but Markstrom struggles against the Oilers, so makes some sense to put in Allen instead. All right, last one on this board, and then I get back to watch the third period of the late games. Shesterkin versus Gustafsson as the Rangers were in Minnesota to play against the Wild. The Rangers press at 2.5 minutes. Things get pushed in a hole by Shesterkin. Berard is denied on a turnover. Spurgeon has a net feed that's sticked aside. JT Miller gets denied and close. The Rangers press with 9.5 minutes left. We get a power play for New York. That's killed off. The shots are 11-9 Minnesota with 5.5 minutes left. With 3:20 left, the Wild get a power play. That's killed off. The Wild press after that power play comes to an end. The Rangers block the path to the net. It's 0-0 after 1. Second period, early press by the Rangers. Shots are 3-0 Rangers, 2.5 minutes in. More Rangers pressure at 3.5 minutes. Eventually they break through. At 6:45, it's Vinny Trocheck scoring to make it 1-0. Cooley and Keandre Miller with the assists. Rangers look for another. The Wild press at 8 minutes. Hartman gets denied and close. The Rangers then rush the other way. Zibanejad's denied from the slot. The Rangers press with 7.5 minutes left. The Wild then get some pressure, but they're kept to the outside. Get a power play for the Rangers. That's killed off. With 1:13 left, the Rangers go back to the power play. So New York's up 1-0 after 2. The power play rolls over to the third period. The Wild finish the kill. We then get a power play for the Wild. It's technically killed off. 1 second after the power play ends, Johansson scores from Nyquist at 3:56. It was Rempe that was in the box. He wasn't happy. He didn't feel like he should have been called for a penalty on that. And if you watch the replay, he might have a case. We then get a power play for the Wild, and it's a 4-minute power play. No, we don't. Not yet. Rangers press to respond. Shots are 4-1 for the Rangers at 6 minutes, and at 6:37 on a rush, Brodzinski gives the Rangers back the lead at 2-1. Jones and Rempe with the assist. So Rempe with an assist after being technically still in the box. The door had opened. He'd not stepped back onto the ice with the Johansson goal. So that kind of offsets that. Rangers up 2-1. Now we get a power play for the Wild, and it's a 4-minute power play. And they would score during the first 2 minutes at 8:41. It is Freddie Gaudreau scoring from Hartman and Spurgeon, so 2-2 tie. The Rangers then kill the second 2 minutes. Really important they got that done. The Wild press with 7 minutes left. Nyquist has a net feed that gets picked off. The Rangers press with 3.5 minutes left. The Wild press in the final minute, but we're going to overtime. In the overtime, the Rangers control early. Keandre Miller fires one wide. The Wild take over. The Rangers would get the puck back. And at 1:50, Schneider buries a backhand in close. Panarin and JT Miller with the assists. The final score 3-2 in overtime for the Rangers. They go to 32-28 and 6 with the win. With the overtime loss, Minnesota 37-24 and 5 on the season. Shots on net, 13-12 Minnesota in the first, 12-7 Rangers in the second, 8-6 Minnesota in the third. The Rangers had the only shot of overtime. It's all they needed. Final shots, 31-28 for the Rangers. Power plays, the Rangers 0 for 3, Minnesota 2 for 4. The hits, 34-20 in favor of the Rangers. Shesterkin saves 26 out of 28. Gustafsson saves 28 out of 31. And that ends board number 2. And on board number 3, we start off with Washington against the LA Kings. So Lindgren versus Kemper. Dano fires one high in a rush. The shots are 2-0 for the Capitals at 5 minutes. The Kings press at 6 minutes. Good forechecking by Washington. Eventually, the Capitals draw a power play. That's killed off. Shots are 8-4 Capitals with 7 minutes left. And at 13:08, Fogle jams one in close to open the scoring for the Kings. Moore with the assist to make it 1-0 for the Kings. Kings press with 5.5 minutes left. Fiala has a one-timer. That's held. Ovechkin has a rush chance that's blocked. With 2:45 left, the Caps get a power play. That's killed off as well. It's 1-0 LA after 1. Second period. The lone shot on net is for Washington 4 minutes in. Not a lot for me to write notes about. Kings press at 4.5 minutes. Capitals get some pressure at 6.5 minutes. Sandin misses one wide on a net drive. There's a near miss for Radish. The Capitals are controlling the game at this point. They're not getting a lot at the net, though. Fiala has a rush chance that hits the outside of the post. Then it's post and out for Roy on a 2-on-1 rush. Then there's a post for Moore from the slot. So the posts and the crossbar, we're getting a workout in this one. Duhaime has a rush chance that's held. The shots are 5-3 for the Capitals with 9 minutes left. We get a power play for the Kings. Caps kill that off. We then have a power play that's drawn by Washington. That's killed off as well. And with 39.6 seconds left, the Kings go to the power play. So a lot of special teams in the second half of the period. The power play rolls over into the third period with the Kings up 1-0. And they score at 1:05. Fiala roofs a cross-ice pass. Kopitar and Doughty with the assist. And then at 1:52, Byfield on a turnover to tic-tac-toe play. Fiala and Gavrikov with the assists. So less than 2 minutes into the third period, the Kings have scored on their first 2 shots of the period, and they're up 3-0. Mangiapane has a tip shot that's held. Pressed by the Kings at 7.5 minutes. Byfield fires one wide. Caps get pinned down. The shots are 3-1 for LA. With 9 minutes left, we get a power play for Washington. That becomes 21 seconds of 5-on-3, and it's a parade from here. We get 55 seconds of 4-on-4, 34 seconds of 4-on-3 for the Kings, which becomes a 5-on-3. Everything gets killed off. The Caps press in the final minute looking to break the goose egg. They do not. The second shutout of the night. The Kings win this one 3-0. They go to 35-20-9 with a needed victory. They get closer to the Oilers. The Capitals 43-15-8 with the loss. The Tony the Tiger magnet up there for the shutout. And the chess magnet because there were 3 goals or less in this game at the same time. Shots on net, 11-10 LA in the first. 7-6 Capitals in the second. 10-4 LA in the third. Final shots 27-21 for the Kings. Power plays Washington 0 for 5. LA 1 for 4. Both teams had 21 hits in this game. Lindgren saves 24 out of 27. Darcy Kemper, 21 saves for the shutout. And of course, Ovechkin, no goals for him. He stays 9 back from setting the goal scoring record in the National Hockey League. All right, last game of the night, Chicago and San Jose. And if you made a drinking game out of them talking about the Celebrini-Bedard matchup, I'm sorry, you're probably not watching this video standing up or even sitting up straight. You're probably kind of slumped. Knight versus Georgiev in this one. Sharks had the only shot on net 3 minutes in. We get a post for Toffoli. The rebound's cleared out. And then at 3:58, Smith scores from Celebrini and Eklund to make it 1-0 for the Sharks. It's crossbar and out for Liljegren not too long after that. Teravainen can't bury one in close. The Sharks press at 7 minutes. Donato then is denied on a 2-on-1 rush. And then Colin Graf at 10:16. It's a turnover in the Chicago zone, much like it was on the Smith goal. It's Graf from Wenberg and Ferraro. Graf burying that one from the slot to make it 2-0 in favor of the San Jose Sharks. Sharks press with 8 minutes left. Ferraro has a net feed. That's blocked with 1:54 left. The Hawks get a power play. So it's 2-0 San Jose after the first. And early in the second period, Chicago gets on the board. 10 seconds in, Nazar scores from Kaiser and Foligno, so it's a 2-1 score there. Hawks then look to tie it. They have some momentum. Donato has a wrister that's held. We then get a power play for the Sharks. Toffoli to Eklund, near miss there. That power play's killed off. The shots are 3-1 Chicago 8 minutes in. We then get a power play for the Sharks again, and they score on this one. Graf tips one from the slot. It's the second goal of the game. Smith and Mahatmadulin on the board with the assists at 10-17, so Mahatmadulin's up to 7 assists this season. He's looking good. Then we had a fight between Dickinson and Goudreau, and then at 13-18, not too long after, Mikheyev tips a net feed top shelf. Donato and Teravainen with the assists. It is a 3-2 lead for San Jose, but Chicago's making it close. Delandry then has a wraparound chance that's held. Levshinov has a one-timer that hits the outside of the post. It stays 3-2 San Jose after 2. Third period, Bedard tries a bank off Georgiev. I mean, it's a move that sometimes works. It doesn't work in this case. Hawks press at 1.5 minutes. Things get pushy on a hold by Knight. Shots are 3-1 Chicago at 3 minutes. The Sharks then press at 6 minutes. And then right near the half of the period, Bedard talking when he shouldn't be or saying things he shouldn't be. He gets a 10-minute misconduct from the officials. So that takes a major offensive piece away from Chicago for what essentially is the rest of the game. He wasn't allowed to come out of the box until there was like 50 seconds left in the third. Donato's robbed on a face-off win. The Sharks press with 7.5 minutes left. The shots are 8-5 for the Hawks with 5.5 minutes left. Graf has a net drive chance that's defended. The Hawks press with 3 minutes left. The goalie pull happens with roughly 2 minutes left in the period. And at 19:28, Tyler Toffoli hits the empty net to make it a 4-2 win for San Jose. The drive for more than 20 wins is still alive. 18-40-9 for San Jose with the win. Chicago 20-37-9 with the loss. Shots on net 10-6 San Jose in the first, 8-7 Chicago in the second, 12-8 Chicago in the third. The Hawks outshoot San Jose 26-25. Power play, Chicago 0 for 1, San Jose 1 for 2. The hits 24-21 Chicago. Knight saves 21 out of 24 for the Hawks. Georgiev had a good night. 24 saves on 26 shots. So there you go. Let me know your thoughts about these games in the comment section below as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Thank you guys so much for all your support as always. I will talk to you again soon.